What's going on, guys? So another week down in the books, had a little bit of variety this time, had a few cool days creep in, but for the most part it's been very nice, mildly warm spring weather. And I definitely have, like I said, quite a bit of variety, but a lot more fresh stuff this go round. Tried to mix it up a little bit like I usually do, but you don't have any depth, no gourmands this week like last week. Nothing along those lines. Just some really good fresh stuff. Some a little bit classier, some a little bit more casual. Like I said, all good stuff. It's week number 125. Let's get into this. Stay tuned. Starting on Sunday, this is one that I haven't worn in quite some time. It's my favorite of the three as far as the three Royale options from ZAHAROFF. We're talking about Signature Royale, the original. The sandalwood heavy, just beautiful, not really fresh fragrance, but until CITRINE came out, this was kind of the freshest fragrance of the house. This is a very, light blonde wood type of fragrance. Heavy on the sandalwood. There's a little bit of myrrh and oud here that kind of give it that dark resinous thumbprint that the Signature Pour Homme DNA is known for in the background. But it's beautiful on my skin. Like I said, this is the White Oxford fragrance. This is a short sleeve button up on a nice warm weather day. Not even necessarily a hot summer's day. It could be a warm spring day. This is a great casual on up to business formal type of fragrance for the warmer weather. I think this stuff is great. Like I said, it's my favorite. I do really like Royale X. We're going to talk about the new Triple X for the following day, but this is just my favorite because of its versatility. I'm not real big on wood dominant fragrances all the time, but this is a great sandalwood dominant fragrance that just does it for me. One that gets forgotten because there's been so many great recent releases from ZAHAROFF that one of the earlier releases like this tends to get forgotten about a little bit. Don't forget to sample the whole house because you never know what you'll find in there, because fragrances like Royale don't get enough love like it used to. So whenever I got out the shower, supposedly rumblings of this being discontinued, as well as Profondo lights, which I'm not surprised that was a limited edition, but I ended up going with ACQUA de Joe ABSOLU out the shower. Not my ideal pick for out the shower, but I was talking to somebody about it being discontinued, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to put that on. I ended up taking a shower like an hour or so later, got out the shower, sprayed this stuff on. The way I've always looked at it is take ACQUA di Gio Profumo, remove the incense, add some fruity notes. Kind of pretty much what it is here. Nothing complicated about it. It's got this kind of synthetic smell to it. There's a lot of amberwood here, but it's mainly this fruity aquatic smell because the marine notes are still there, the core of the DNA, with this patchouli note. And it's super, super strong on my skin. I love this stuff. A lot of people relate it to Invictus Aqua, and yeah, there's a faint similarity here, but like I said, the best way I can describe it is take Profumo, remove the incense, add fruity notes. You get ACQUA di Gio ABSOLU. It's a beast. The trail on this one works wonders. I have gotten many compliments wearing this fragrance. I love wearing this one in the summertime. It's one of the more powerful fragrances that I wear in the summer, and I have a 200 ml backup for when I run out of this 75 ml one day. So out the shower, ACQUA di Gio ABSOLU. Moving into Monday, it was just time to pull out something blue, versatile, and just super enjoyable for me. Talking about Versace Dylan Blue. Never gets old. I love this stuff. One that had to grow on me. Admittedly, I wasn't a big fan of at first, but I like it more and more with every spray. It never fails. I've got a decent little dent going now. The level's about here, which for having hundreds of fragrances, a juice level dropping is astronomical in my collection, because that means I'm going back to it more often than others. And that's the case with Dylan Blue. I get in the mood for it. I love blue fragrances. There's no secret. I'm kind of the blue fragrance guy here on YouTube. Versatile, powerful, easy to go anosmic to, nose blind, olfactory fatigue. It's a real thing with this one. I don't know if it's directly related to the level of ambroxan in here, because ambroxan is a notorious culprit for olfactory fatigue, but you'll think you have some weak bottle. It's just 3-hour fragrance. And 6 or 7 hours into it, you may get a compliment and you're like, wow, I thought it was gone and I needed to refresh. I've had that happen. I've said that before because it comes up a lot. Some people will think they just have this reformulated, terrible performing bottle, but you need instances like that to happen to you so you can really understand what's going on here. Because more times than not, olfactory fatigue is the culprit, and these fragrances aren't as weak as most people think. Because this stuff is bordering a beast. This is a powerful fragrance. This reaches out. This has a long trail. This stuff performs. It really does. And it's one of those shower gel fragrances with a lot of character. For being a synthetic fragrance, mid-level designer that you can get for around 50 bucks, this is one of the best $50 fragrances you can buy, in my opinion, because it works literally for everything year frickin' round. Love wearing this one. It's Versace Dylan Blue. Then we got the shower. We're talking Royale XXX here. So it's available exclusively in a 3-piece travel set with Royale, Royale X, and Royale XXX. This was inspired by my good buddy, the Don, Joey Cannoli, because it's a very sexual, skanky type of fragrance. So if you've ever smelled Royale X, that was marketed as such. That's the cleaner version of this. This is a little bit more skank, a little bit more musky, and as it starts to dry, the suede note is a lot more buttery smooth than in Royale X. This is not the most daring fragrance in the world, but it's more artistic. It tells a story. It accomplishes that sexuality, that sex smell that Zaharoff was going for, even more so than Royale X, because that was more of a clean fragrance that really you can wear every day, whereas this is more specific on times when you're going to wear it. Is it the most animalistic smell and challenging fragrance in the world? No. But to people that wear stuff like this, that normally don't wear stuff like this, yeah, it'll be super challenging. But to enthusiasts out there, those of you watching that are into fine fragrances, and you like some of these more unique, musky, cumin-based fragrances, you will enjoy something like this. This is a treat for those that have that type of nose and palate that enjoy this type of fragrance. Performance is stellar. This one's a 20% oil concentration because it needed that to really, it was created as a 20%. This is one that if you were to dial up the oil concentration without reworking the fragrance, you would lose some of the brightness and the impact, that punch in the nose that it gives you upon first blast. So there's always a link below for you to check this out. George only made a couple hundred sets, so get them while you can if that sounds interesting. Definitely the most artistic fragrance from Zaharoff is Royale XXX. Moving into Tuesday, this is a fresh green citrus darling. It's got a petitgrain note. I love a good petitgrain note. This reminds me of fragrances like Aqua Celestia Forte from Mason Francis Kirkjohn. It reminds me of Vintage Green from Banana Republic. I'm talking about Artisan Pure from John VARVATOS. Finally pulled this one back out into the rotation. This is one you can spray heavy and just enjoy. It's so good. It's not overdone with the citrus. It's a little bit watery. It's got that by the beach feel, but this is another one of those white Oxford fragrances, kind of like how Signature Royale is, where we started this video. Maybe not quite as classy as Royale, but of the same vein as far as the vibe, not the scent profile, because this is more citrus, watery, and green, whereas that is more blonde woods and sandalwood. I don't know, there's just something special about this one. Decent performer, not a beast, but as far as the fresh fragrances from John VARVATOS, this is one of the better performing. This is in that 5-hour realm for me on my skin. It's one that, like I said, it's just a great fragrance on a nice casual day. One I have not worn in a while, admittedly, but really, really good stuff. They're popping up a lot more. There was a time when they were a little bit harder to find. Now they're pretty easy to find from discounters, and this was hyped for a very long time, and I think the hype's deserved, and justified, because it is that good of a fragrance. Probably the best in the line. I haven't tried the newest Artisan flanker, the green bottle with the gray wicker. I will try that one eventually, but if you're looking for a treat at a good price for the heat, you need to check out Artisan Pure from John Varvatos. Then I got the shower. I've been wearing this one a lot more lately out the shower. Kind of a brighter, more musky take, clean musky take on Aventus. It's Rayon Tradition Insurrection Pure 2. You know, there was a time when this was one of the 5 or so best Creed Aventus clones out there on the market that was getting hyped up and talked about all the time several years back. Now we've got such a flooded market with fragrances that smell like Creed Aventus, it tends to get forgotten about. And that's a shame. You can still find this one around $20, $22, $23. It's not a great performer. It's just a few hours and then it's gone. But it is a more clean, musky take on the Aventus DNA. It distinctively smells like a cheap version of Aventus. And you can really get by with this one. Is it going to give you the full experience of real Creed Aventus? Absolutely not. Not for $23, you're not going to get the same exact experience, but you can get a similar experience for a fraction of what Creed Aventus cost. So, out the shower, Insurrection Pure 2 from Rayon Tradition. Moving into Wednesday, the new fresh fragrance from ZAHAROFF. We're talking about Signature Citrine. I keep going back to this one because it's just damn good. Beautiful orange clementine combo up top. The clementine kind of gives a little bit of a lime smell with this sweet orange. This is good stuff, guys. I get the incense early. The amber starts to settle in after the top note calms down. You get a little bit of that resinous myrrh to help provide that warmth that's in the original, because this is based off of the Signature Noir fragrance. That's the base that it was made off of. It's basically rosé reworked with different notes. Take away the roses and stuff like that and add some freshness and citruses. This stuff will radiate in the heat. It needs the heat to really project pretty heavy. It's a beautiful fragrance when you heat up. That's where the magic happens with this one. This one's going to be great in the summer. For those of you in a hot climate already, you're experiencing that if you have this bottle. I do get above average longevity on my skin with this one. I get in that 6 to 8 hour range, which is right in the sweet spot for me. And for a fresh fragrance, that's fantastic. It's not a beast though. If you're looking for a beast, you're looking at the wrong fragrance. There's other fragrances from the house that project a lot heavier than this. This is a light, fresh, and invigorating fragrance. A true freshie at its core. Really, really good stuff. For those of you that were waiting for a real freshie from ZAHAROFF, it is finally signed, sealed, and delivered. Get yourself a sample. Samples are available on the website now. There's always a link below with 10% off. I'm really digging this one. This is like my, I don't know, 10th or 11th wearing in the 2.5 weeks or so, 3 weeks maybe, that I've had this. I keep going back to it. It's great out the shower. It's great casually. It's a great workday scent. It's just great in the heat in general because it has that class and elegance and masculinity that you've come to expect from ZAHAROFF. During the day, Signature Citrine. Then we got the shower, one I haven't reached for in a long time. Boss Bottled Sport. Grapefruit and aldehydes. I don't know why it's not focusing. There we go. I love this bottle. That frosted glass with the matte black and the little red hit for the word sport. I think this is the coolest looking Boss Bottled bottle in the entire line. I always have. Even has the little red dot atomizer. But this one had to grow on me too. It's a strange grapefruit aldehyde combo. It's more of a bitter grapefruit type of smell up top with the aldehydes. It starts to settle in and get a bit more fresh. There's a little bit of woods in the background. It is more on the generic side. This is not a special fragrance. It's a typical sport fragrance. I think that's why it didn't last long and got discontinued, because it's been discontinued for a while. You can still find them for a decent price, but it's definitely not super cheap. And if you collect the line, it's one you want to add. Not my favorite to wear, but it did grow on me. This is one that the first time I smelled it, I would have gave like a 2 out of 10. These days, it's more like a 4.5, 5 out of 10 for me, where it's okay. It's solid, but it's not a great fragrance. So definitely one that I'll never recommend that you need to run out and get. Definitely try before you buy if that's possible. But it's decent. It's a decent sport fragrance. Not my favorite sport fragrance, or freshy, but it's one that I can appreciate for what it is, because most of the time I can find the good in a fragrance, and in this instance I was able to have it grow on me and find the good in it. So out the shower, Boss Bottled Sport. Moving into Thursday, we briefly mentioned this when it's supposedly discontinued, which is sad but not surprising because it was released as a limited edition summer fragrance last year. So I'm not shocked if indeed it is discontinued. We're talking about Acqua di Gio Profondo Lights. This is a beautiful fragrance. This is what I gravitate to the most in the Acqua di Gio line. This is one I will have to get another bottle of once I can confirm that it is indeed discontinued, because this is one I keep going back to. I gravitate towards. It's kind of become my favorite in the line. I love the fresh greens with this one. It still has that aquatic Profondo core. It's still super enjoyable at crowd pleaser, but the greens are heightened here. Rosemary notes, stuff like that, add this bright, crisp, fresh, spicy green edge to the Profondo DNA. I like this one more than Profondo. Love Profondo. I just like Profondo Lights a little bit more. It suits my taste a little bit more. It's built for the spring. It really is. If Profondo's ideal for summer, Profondo Lights is ideal for spring, is how I can look at it. Grass, trees are getting green again, flowers are blooming. That's the kind of settings and scenery that I think of when I smell fragrances that are dominated by fresh green notes. And this is all of that. So definitely enjoy wearing this one. Try this one sooner rather than later. During the day, Profondo Lights. Then we got the shower. This is one I've discussed recently. 15 to 20 bucks. Usually they're 15 bucks at the rack stores. It's aquatic, it's minty, it's fresh. It's going to remind you of other things, but damn, it's a great fragrance for a $15 budget. Penguin Premium Blend. This is one I discussed recently in a cheap warm weather fragrance video, and it made me want to wear it. This stuff is just really, really good. Probably the most popular one from the house. It's good stuff, guys. Is it great and amazing and mind-blowing and you should run out and try to hunt a bottle? No, absolutely not. It's not that damn special, but for 15 bucks, it's really solid. For $15, you can do a lot worse under $20 on a fragrance. Like I said, it's going to remind you of other things, but it's very aquatic, watery, by the beach summertime type of smell. That generic summer smell with a little bit of added freshness from some mintiness that comes across. The citrus isn't overdone. It's got more of a watery vibe than anything else. Decent performer without being really strong. It's not super weak. I would call it slightly below average, kind of like a 4-hour fragrance, which is decent, especially for 15 bucks for a 100 ml. Like I said, you could do a lot worse in the sub $20 range on fragrances. So check this one out if you see it at the rack stores. You can get it online for about the same price, but they're always at the rack stores. Check your Marshalls, your TJ Maxx's, places like that. Mainly TJ Maxx, I find Penguin fragrances, and treat yourself to Premium Blend. Moving into Friday, I haven't wore this one in a while, and I forgot just how damn good it is. Now, I've never smelled the original being Louis Vuitton L'Immensite, but I gotta tell you, Alexandria's version, Alexandria Fragrances, and get it to focus, that would just be awesome. Come on, focus for me just one time. There we go. L'Immensity. Their version of Louis Vuitton L'Immensite. A beautiful citrus fragrance. Mega fresh, loads of citrus. Has a density because it's an extrait. Performance is great on this one. It really is. It's not too loud of a fragrance because being a high oil concentration, it does sit a bit closer to the skin, but it sticks to the skin. It lasts. If you're looking for a freshie that lasts, this is it. Another one that it doesn't project real heavy, because like I said, if this would have been worked accordingly like the original was, because I don't think the original is an extrait either. When fragrances are created a certain way, once you dial up the oil concentration from there, it starts getting heavier and heavier and you start losing projection. You'll gain longevity, but you'll lose projection. So this wasn't originally created as an extrait. So it doesn't have a lot of pop heavy pop in the projection, but it sticks around for a long time, and the sillage is really good. This is one that has a pretty strong trail because of the density of the aroma. So if you're looking for a freshie that's going to hang out all day long on your skin, this is a damn good one. It smells amazing. It really does. One of my favorites from Alexandria currently. It's so good. It really is. It doesn't, I'm sure it doesn't smell exactly one-to-one with the Louis Vuitton fragrance. Like I said, I haven't tried it, but most of the time, Alexandria does very well with replicating as close as possible, and I'm sure that's the case here. Like I said, I haven't tried to verify, but based on my experience on their versions of fragrances that I do own originals to, they're usually pretty accurate. Main culprit being Dior Sauvage Elixir. Their version is magnifique, but during the day, a mega fresh bomb. Lemensity from Alexandria Fragrances, their version of Louis Vuitton Lemensite. Now we're at the shower, that same cheap warm weather fragrance video that I mentioned. This fragrance was featured in it, made me want to wear it, forgot how much I like it. Tommy Bahama Maritime Deep Blue. Another one of those blue fragrances that's a lot more green than it is blue. A lot of greens here. Spicy type of stuff. I damn near bathed in this stuff when I got out the shower. I think I gave myself like 10 sprays. I was just spraying all over my shoulders and everything because I just love how it smells. One of those rare things that I normally don't do is end up refreshing a few hours later when it's out the shower late in the evening. I ended up refreshing with this. I gave myself like another 6 or 8 sprays because I enjoy how it smells that much. Again, not one I'm saying you need to rush out and get because it's mind-blowingly good for $30, but if you see it at the rack stores, you could do this is one of the better $30 fragrances that you can get at the rack stores, and you get a lot of juice. It's a 4.2 ounce bottle. In my opinion, it's the best of the deep blue, the maritime fragrances, sorry, not deep blue. Deep blue is the flanker. It's good. It's good. It's like Polo Blue EDP with some enhanced greens meets a touch of Dior Sauvage. It's kind of how it smells. Maybe not necessarily. The Sauvage touch is just that. It's a touch, but there's a little bit of a warmth to it in the background as well with that bright green freshness that you get up top. It's a little aquatic citrusy, but not much. That's toned back quite a bit. It's just really good. I love the way it smells out the shower. Tommy Bahama Maritime Deep Blue. Finally on Saturdays, some back-to-back heavy hitters. Heavy hitters from my collection. Stuff I wear all the time, starting with ZAHAROFF Signature TABAC. My most worn fragrance of the year 2022. I'm working on this bottle. By the time December 31st hits, I'm willing to bet I'm midway through this label at the least. Because I keep going back to this one. And I sprayed it heavier than I normally do when I wore it, which at the recording of this is Sunday. The day it's getting recorded is the day it's going live. But on Saturday, I wore like 8 sprays of this. And I normally only do like 5 or 6, maybe 7. But I ended up going with like 8 sprays because I just love how this smells so damn much. This is some people's favorite from the house, and for good reason. It's my favorite tobacco fragrance. You can call me biased if you want, because George is my friend. That's totally fine. I could care less if people want to call me biased towards it. It's just that good. It's easy to stand by an amazing fragrance. This is a freaking amazing fragrance. This is one that I absolutely urge people to try. This and Rosé, must-tries. The 2 must-try fragrances from ZAHAROFF. That's my opinion. And for those of you that have tried it, more than likely, you really like the damn thing. And you have a bottle. Because it's that damn good. Panopo's, recently, this got Fragrance of the Year and Best Men's Fragrance. So it won 2 awards from Panopo's recently. So congratulations to ZAHAROFF for that. It was up for Best Packaging as well. Because, I mean, for the love of God, look at this cigar label. For a sticker with all the texturing and everything. The detailing's there. The box is even more incredible than this label, and so on. It's just a great fragrance. This, as much as I'm raving about it, is actually not even my favorite from the house. Rosé is. That's why I mentioned Rosé, but this is what I wear the most. This is my most worn in recent memory ZAHAROFF fragrance. My most worn tobacco fragrance, because it's just so well balanced. It's aromatic, it's herbal, it's leafy, it's sweet, it's boozy. It's a little smoky, it's woody. All the different accords and mixtures and combinations that encompass making a great tobacco fragrance are all here All the elements are here, and it's so well balanced. Get your nose on this one if you haven't yet. During the day, signature tobacco from ZAHAROFF. Damn, that's a good fragrance. And a damn good cheap fragrance. Out the shower. I typically don't wear this one out the shower, but I was in the mood for it. ACQUA ESSENZIALE Blue from Salvatore Ferragamo. The fragrance most synonymous with this YouTube channel. It never gets old for me, guys. This is one of the best blue fragrances on the market. It'll be a sad day whenever this gets discontinued, because one day it probably will at some point. In the community, this is a great cheap blue darling. Not as cheap as it once was, but it's still cheap. Sub $40 range, it's still a cheap fragrance. Performs great, doesn't smell exactly like all the other blue fragrances. It kind of smells like its own thing, which I think is what I appreciate the most about it. I get in the 8-hour range on my skin. It doesn't project too heavy, but I get 2 hours of pretty damn good projection. I just love wearing this. The versatility's there. Not my favorite in the highest of heat. I'm not big on wearing this one in the summer, though I have worn it in the summer. It's not one of my favorites for summer, but the other 3 seasons, you can't go wrong. It's damn near signature scent worthy. Out the shower, one of my favorites. ACQUA ESSENZIALE Blue from Salvatore Ferragamo. Well, that is the rotation for week number 125. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. I do appreciate all the feedback. I love hearing from you guys. What did you wear this week? I'm very curious to read some of your rotations down in the comments. It's my favorite thing, favorite comments of the week, I guess you could say, because this is my favorite format. I love reading what you guys have been wearing. Didn't have an opportunity yesterday with the live stream and everything's going on to record this video on Saturday to release on Sunday like I typically do. So I woke up a little early so I could get this video out for you guys, because I know there's some people that this is their favorite video that I put out on a weekly basis, and it's honestly my favorite to film. I love talking to you guys about what I've been wearing and why. And speaking of, a little teaser for the head start of next week. Today I am going to be rocking Oligarch Parfum from Raja Parfums. I haven't really been wearing this one lately, and I'm just in the mood for it. It takes the original bright green, fresh, versatile, and kind of intensifies it. Some of the freshness in the opening is toned back, but man, they did a great job. At first, I thought the EDP was better, but the more I spray this one, the more I'm liking the Parfum. Yeah, so I'll be spraying this one on actually right now. Yeah, so heading to the in-laws for a late lunch, early dinner, get together, got to wear something decent, you know what I mean? Because they always want to know what I'm wearing when I head there. So hope you guys have a great rest of your Sunday and a great start to the following week. And until next time, I will say, if you grab any of the stuff that I wore this past week and give it a spray now, you might end up thanking me later. Have a good one, guys.